Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 12 of the Leetcode Daily Challenge. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about today's problem. We have another balance problem. Hopefully this is much easier than yesterday. I didn't say this at the beginning yesterday because I didn't know that it was going to be so hard, to be honest. Or like, I had an idea that it was going to be hard, but I didn't think it would be that long, to be frank. So without, uh, um, I just wanted to add for yesterday's problem and yesterday's video that it is probably not going to be your interview question, or at least about AI. I don't know why Leetcode does this. Leetcode is silly. Segment trees should not be, you know, it took me a long time as well. Though, I mean, a good amount of that time just me wanting to implement segment tree from memory, right? Maybe if I had a template, then it would have been much easier, but it is what it is. Um, but yeah, today my workout. What did I do? Oh no, I just did mostly focused on mobility stuff today. Just kind of a rest day. Just go in. Did a lot of stretching, and as I'm still go, I still have couple of tickets to snowboarding for Mountain Creek here in New York. Technically, New Jersey is where Mountain Creek is at. So I still want to be more flexible for it because I think one of the things that I wasn't that I realized that I wasn't doing that well, and maybe I have to kind of be more conscious about it, is that when I'm going switch, right, when I'm riding switch, my hip mobility or my it's not as much as I would like. So I wasn't like I was able, like I know how to do everything, like in terms of I'm able to carve and go really fast on my switch side, on my normal side, without saying it's fine, relatively fine. But my switch side, and for those of you who don't know snowboarding, it means when you go the other way, right? Like I have a banana here for some reason, but like maybe this is me going this way. Switch is me going the other way. That's what switch is. But as a result, like I'm able to technique wise go really fast, but without that mobility, I'm not able to get used to how fast I'm going. Because I'm because the thing with snowboarding, at least for me anyway, may not apply to anyone. I'm not an expert here, so if I'm speaking to experts, it's fine. Let me know in the comments. But the thing is that the thing that enables you to go faster than snowboarding, it's not. I mean, it's partially technique. You have to be able to be stable. You have to be not crash and die when you go fast. But it's actually, for me anyway, one of the most important things is being able to see downhill, right? So able to see enough so that you're able to kind of have a plan in your mind to go, okay, I'm going to do this here and then make a turn there, and so forth. And that way, then you're able to go fast, because when you look downhill and you go like, I don't know, 40 miles per hour, what is that? Like 70 kilometers or something, an hour, like you have to be, like it just comes up to you like really fast, right? At least, especially in the Northeast here near New York, because it's not wide or big enough that you can just do whatever, right? You don't want to hit trees, is my point. But anyway, as we saw, I've been just working on my hip flexibility so that I can kind of stay going switch, and being able to like look further downhill for longer periods of time. But some of it maybe is mental. I don't know. We'll see again today, or this the next trip when I go, as I'm more conscious about it. But yeah, so these are kind of my thought process as well when I go snowboarding, right? I bring it up a little bit some to tie it back in, is that everything is just from being me reflecting on what I was doing on the mountain, right? About that mind body connection, and getting better is not. I mean, yeah, maybe you do get better by just doing more problems, or in my case, just ride more snowboarding, because it's been like 10 years for me. So definitely there is parts of that, but if you're deliberate, if you kind of figure out what you need to do to get better, then you can just work on it, right? Like for example, if you know your dynamic programming problems are weaker, you focus on it. You don't do sorting problems. I mean, you still can get better just doing any problem, so right? But you know what your weakness is, and and you just have to work on it. And it's hard. It's hard, right? Because what you want to do is just say, okay, I just solved this problem without working super hard, right? And as humans, we do have that natural instinct to just, I wouldn't say being lazy, but just about being efficient. And for me, going on this snowboard, as I was saying, right, snowboard of a banana, like I'm very good at riding regular, but at least in the past when I was younger, I just didn't enjoy riding switch because basically it's doing the same thing that is like relearning everything that you've done, but going the other way. And I'm just much slower for a long time when I was younger, because I was slow, and I was slow because I was slow, right? Because I was slow because I don't practice enough because it's slow and it's not fun. I want to go regular way, and so then there's like the gap keeps widening and it's never go right. But as you get more, you know. But eventually you just find yourself limited to it, right? Because when I'm on a snowboard and I want to try to do a 180 in the air, or you have to land the other way and you have to kind of be good about it. I guess technically 360 you don't, but if you do a 540, meaning one spin and then another half spin, you land on the other side, and you have to be like very proficient, right? I mean, in theory I'm good enough, but it's just like you still just got to put in the hours. You just got to work on all the things that you're weak on, because working on all the things that you're weak on enables you to be strong at all the things that you are, that you want to do, right? Like yesterday's problem. If you were weaker on dynamic programming, and you may not recognize this because the video was a little bit bad because there's so many components that you have to kind of work through, But if you were not strong at the balance part of it, where you get +1, -1 things, right, and then the prefix sum of that part, and finding the prefix in which it is equal to that, and maybe that was your weak point. Maybe you just hate working on that part. Even if you are super good at segment tree, you were just not going to get that problem, right? And I definitely felt it yesterday as well. Like I was just a little bit weaker in certain parts in terms of problem solving. But yeah, so that's kind of my spiel, is that you have to be able to do anything you want, and to do anything you want, you have to do everything that you need, right? Anyway, so that's kind of the spiel. Today's problem hopefully is a little bit easier, but it's a part 1, so maybe tomorrow's is the harder one. So let's see. Let's go. 3713 longest balanced substring 1. You're given a string S consists of lowercase English letters. A substring S is called balanced if all distinct characters in the substring appears the same number of times. Oh, this is pretty. Oh no. I thought you have to do it for all of them, but no. A substring. Length with the longest substring. N is 1,000 is a bit of a hint, honestly, because if N is, at least for this one anyway. Maybe part 2 will be harder on this, because the thing is that with this you can find a way to do n square, right? And the n square solution is pretty much the same as the thing that we did 2 days ago, right? So we can just do it, right? So we can just do for start in range of n, and then maybe you have a f for frequency, right? For counter, right? For n in range of start n, we have s of n, right? So f of this increment by 1, and then now you have to figure out how to do distinct characters same amount of times. There are a couple of ways you can write this. The way that I generally do is just by this rectangular idea, right? Which is the max, right? And the idea is more visualization, and that's why I say the rectangular idea. Let me draw it out. Hang on. Let me load the drawing thing. So the idea with what I call rectangular is that, okay, so you have a axis thing, and I'm using my mouse as a little bit whatever. You have the frequency table. This is the frequency of the things, and pretend they're straighter, right? And the idea is that if they're all the same, and in this case, they're clearly is not. Did I change colors? In this case, they clearly are not, right? Because this is higher than the others. But if they're all the same, then it would look something like, they're all the same height. And that means that this height and the width, right, yeah, that means that, what does this mean? Yeah, so that means that given the height and the width, this is a rectangle, right? And that's basically it. The width you can figure out, the height, which is why we're setting up the max for the max element, because that's easy to update, right? And all one time, and yeah, and then we just have to figure out whether it matches the area, and the area is just the number of total things that we're measuring, right? And the width is the number of distinct things, in case I wasn't clear. So yeah, that's basically the idea. And then now we go, okay, well, if max, which is the height, times the width, which is length of f, is equal to the area, n minus star plus 1, because that's the number of things we counted, then this is a balanced substring. So then you could do something like, and keep in mind, like I said, there are multiple ways to do it, but this is the way that I generated. Right, something like this, and I wouldn't call this a pattern, because people always just say a pattern or template or whatever. It's just, you do something enough times, you know, it happens. Maybe I'm wrong though, apparently. Oh, I forgot to do update max, that's why. F of this, whoops. Yeah. It's always funny when I'm like, oh, that's all you have to do, and then you get it wrong, and then you're like, oh, nothing is right. But yeah, this is gonna be n squared for obvious reasons. I'm not gonna think about upsolving it. Just, it's kind of really sad though, because it may be that part 2 is something totally different, but I'm not talking about upsolving or possible upsolving it, just because it may come up tomorrow. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay good, stay healthy, to good mental health. I'll see y'all later and take care. Bye bye. Bye bye.